Okay, guys, you're going to love this.
Let me
So
just,
look at this. This is what Drina posted in our group. This is her sales from when she joined. Now, here's what I want you to know. I'm going to let Drina tell you what she does, but here's what you need to know. You see that off the chart line there? Drina was there, had to be there in January when it wasn't in the physical. She had to be there in February, in March, in April. And then she even had to be there in May when she took a dip in her results to be there in June. Drina, welcome. If you can share, Drina, from what we have talked about, first of all, give everybody a background of what these sales represent, what you do sell, and what was happening for you on an emotional level during this time.
okay, thank you so much, Hina, for having me. And hello to everybody listening, and thank you for your time. So, I have a clothing line. So, I have an e commerce business. I started a year and a half ago. I sell Croatian inspired women's athleisure. And I decided to join the program because I wanted to improve my results. I wasn't satisfied with 2020, so I decided in the beginning of 2021 to rejoin the program, and it obviously was well worth it for me. So I remember in January, Hina had a 90-day goal that she wanted to set up for us. So everyone had their 90-day goal. So the income that I achieved in June was part of that 90-day goal I set in January. So obviously there was a huge dip, and I had to stay positive and really do different things to keep my mindset in place. So whether it was the affirmations, the 6 a.m. calls, just asking questions within um, the sessions we had when I struggled, and just keeping my energy high and going for walks and really visualizing myself. So I really believed I would achieve my income goal. I just didn't know when. So every month I was like, okay, well, it's going to happen next month. It's going to happen next month. And yeah, and then by June, it actually surpassed my goal, like by a lot. So it was like way higher than I expected. So it's kind of like everything compounded into June. I would say all the work that I was doing from January, February, March, April just slowly compounded. And I will say, I love how Hina says, let it be easy. So it was funny because in June, I stopped doing my Facebook ads. I didn't do Google ads. My Instagram shopping stopped working. And I was like, you know what? Let me just let it be easy. And I did a product launch. I posted 2 photos, sent one email, got sold out of my items. And like, it just felt so easy. And I was just focusing on my customers, what they want, and packaging my orders. So yeah. And then
So I love this. Leon says that he's got goosebumps. You know, one of the things that we talk about is the sustaining of the belief when you're not seeing the result. If you had a crystal ball and you knew, oh, in June I'm going to have that, it would be very easy to sustain that belief because you'd be like, okay, just, it is coming. I know that. How did you keep your thoughts on what you wanted and not let the graph control you? Like, okay, here's my question. How were you still there in June, in March, vibrationally?
so I will say there were some external events happening in June that in my industry specifically, so I knew there would be a little boom because of the Euro Cup and everything. But I knew I had to prepare for it. So there's different things I did. So for example, thank you cards. I had a stack of them, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get more sales. So I'm going to have to order 100 of them. I'm going to have to order more. So I ordered more. And it's funny because in June I didn't have enough. I like needed like more than that than I ordered. So it's things like that. I just like, okay, I'm going to prepare for this. I'm going to order this, order these parcels. And I would say, um, when I was feeling unsure, just visualizing it, going for a walk, just staying positive, um, not freaking out. May, I was freaking out a little bit because I'm like, hey, why isn't it growing? Like, why is it going down? And then it was, I think it was May 28th. I got an email from somebody that wanted, 60 pairs of leggings. And I was like,
Have you
what? And it was at the
purposed?
end of the month. And then they ended up signing in June, but still, like, that was crazy that by the end of the May, I got that big order.
So here's what I love. So do you hear that Drina is taking action, but it's not the kind of action that is the general belief system out there. What does she do? She's living in the goal. So she's getting thank you cards. But that was inspired action. That was intuition saying the she was acting that the sales are coming, like the sales are here. So I'm preparing my place so that I'm available for it and I'm welcoming it. I'm at the energy of allowing myself to receive. Because here's the thing, Drina, and we talk a lot about this with you and the clients. Wanting and receiving are two very different things. Drina wanted a certain amount a month. When she internalized that want, if we go back to that stick person, into the feelings, became emotionally involved in it, she created, she stepped up her ability to receive in that moment. She was stepping up her ability to receive by creating actions for the receiving to happen, by getting those thank you cards. I want everyone to, you guys, you have to go back and watch this again. It's not going to be just one thing. Like Lisa Running says, I love that Drina's action was with full faith that her results were coming. So Lisa, if you go back to that image that I showed, Drina was, the attractive force was larger than the repellent force. Even when she was having a dip, the attractive force was still larger than the repellent force. So the energy of the attractive force kind of overwhelmed the repellent force. Drina, does this make sense for you as you now look back to it?
Yeah, so when I look back to compare to 2020, I just had an unwavering belief, and that's what, Bob Proctor always says. It's not mere hope or wish, it's just
Yeah.
ingrained belief. And I felt very worthy of it. I said I did the work. I have amazing products. I didn't put anything on sale. Like, I was like, this is what it's worth, and I know, um, I'm gonna hit my goal and that number. And to me, as the months went by, that number seemed small. Like, it didn't seem like this big thing. So I had it as like a wallpaper on my phone and things like that. So after seeing that number so many times over months, that number was like, oh yeah, that's in June 2nd. I made a video, a diary to myself, and I said, oh, I'm gonna hit this number this month, right? This big, revenue goal. And it's literally a revenue explosion when you see the graph that, Hina always talks about, revenue explosion. So, and within 2 weeks I hit that number. So it was like the middle of June, and it was amazing. And I felt a different level of confidence than
Yeah.
in January. It was just a
Yeah.
different energy. And I would say it's I can't pinpoint one thing I did. It was just a plethora of things I was doing, like, consuming the material. I remember, yeah, April, May, June, I was listening to the audios every single day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if it was one audio tape, but you would just get ideas. Like, you get different ideas, inspired action, right? And it's repetitive, but it just goes into your, I guess, subconscious mind. And then the results, I guess, speak for itself. So it's not one thing, it's a bunch of things just happening. But I would say, if I can say one thing, it's your belief. You have to have that unwavering belief, like, yeah, this is happening.
The other thing we're going to talk about tomorrow, Drina, is our psycho-cybernetic mechanism, our financial thermostat. So if you can see here on the graph, um, Drina's financial thermostat was probably set around her November and April, November of 2020 and April of 2021, that area. Like, you know, that's kind of so because she'd hit that much in November, she had a thought, she'd her paradigm would be aware that she can do that. So she could hit it again in April or just go above it in April. But I mean, this is a quantum leap. Like,
Yeah.
look at the difference. So the other thing was she had to, and this is what we'll talk about tomorrow, reset her financial thermostat to a different number. And as Drina was saying, then she normalized that number by, you know, doing what we do on the calls and things like that. But everybody, you can all start this now. And this is where I'm going to give you the home play. Would you love to see results like this? Because you can start it today. And I'm going to tell you how, of how we can start to make it an attractive force. And I want all of my clients to do this as well. So do this too, please. Okay, so here's your home play for my clients and everybody attending. First of all, Drina, thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it helps, like, you to see how it's actually lived.
Yeah,
So
you're very welcome. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the first few months were really hard, but I just had faith that it was gonna work out. So if anyone's going through a tough time, just know that it's all gonna work out, and it's gonna be even better than you expected. So, yeah, thank you for having me.
thank you. Beautiful. Okay, let me now stop the share and give you your home play. Me, sorry, just gonna. Okay, great. So remember that letter that I wrote at the begin that I read at the beginning? What I want you to do is this is what I call something that I created called your money miracle letter. Money miracle letter. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to write a letter to money. Money as your best friend. Money as something that is safe, secure, and there for you all the time. And you are going to write this letter inviting it, allowing it to stay in your life, allowing it to, that you're available to it, you're ready to receive it. In your money miracle letter, so you're going to do that. I also want you to share in that letter the things that you were able to do because of money, because money came into your life, because you invited money. Things like maybe there is some place that you want to donate to, and you're like, I just donated $50,000. You know, thank you. I love that I donated $50,000. I love that I just took my family on this amazing trip. I love that I surprised my partner with this. I love that I bought that bag that I've been eyeing. Oh, I love my new home. I love it. Like, because money in and of itself, it's useless. It's the things that we can do. Oh my gosh, I love that I just retired, you know, my parents. They don't ever have to work again. I love that I was able to send my mom back home first class, like whatever it is for you. So you're, first of all, the first part is just inviting it and thanking it and creating space for it. And then you're going to show gratitude for the things, because remember, money amplifies who you are. So for the things it allows you to do. This is a money miracle letter. Then what I want you to do is, I would prefer if you wrote it by hand and not in the computer. it is more powerful if you just take a fresh sheet of paper and do that if you're able to.